Hey guys, and welcome back. And in this part we're going to go ahead and add all the edge loops and so on to this piece, so we can go ahead and smooth this. It will be fairly complicated for you if you do not already know where it would need the loops so it will smooth properly, so you might have a bit of a challenge following along, but hopefully by now you should know where we should add the edge loops and so on. So the first thing we're actually going to do is go ahead and duplicate this, because we're going to need some faces of this later on to duplicate off. So such as this bottom faces, we're going to duplicate off to extrude out this bottom piece, and also we're going to need some of these faces that we're going to duplicate of this piece to create this outer rim that goes around him. So we're just going to go ahead and duplicate this, and we're just going to go ahead and add this to our block layer for now, and hide it away so we don't have to worry about it. And I'm also going to turn off the neck, and we can go ahead and start adding the loops. But first of all, what we're going to do is go ahead and delete this face here, because this gap here will connect to the bottom piece as well, so we're going to have to do this before we go and add the extra loop. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete both of these, and if you have a look, we're going to have a gap here, and what we're going to do is add an extra edge loop that goes around and merge the vertices. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side as well, so I'm just going to select these two faces and delete them. As you can tell, we'll have a gap there as well. So what we're going to do is go ahead and insert our edge loop around here and line it up with that vertex. I'm not sure if we'll be able to point snap it, but we'll try. So I'm going to go to vertex, select, oh god, there we go, select the edge loop again, go to my vertex mode, select that, and hold down V and try to snap it to this point. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a loop, and it goes around, click that, go to vertex, hold down V, and this is not going to snap for us. I'm going to try again, try to get this snap to the right place. It doesn't want to for some reason, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this manually. I'm just going to drag it there, and hopefully it lines up pretty well. So now what we're going to do is just go ahead and merge them two vertices. So we're going to go ahead and go to vertex, select them two, merge vertices to center. Same thing with this two, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So select them two, merge vertices to center. Same thing with these two, and there we go. And now we're just going to have to go ahead and extrude this edge and merge it. So I'm just going to turn down the offset, and then just drag this out to about there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just select this edge, extrude, and just pull down the offset. If it would go to the right place. There we go. And then I'm going to use my merge vertex tool and just snap these to that vertex, and now that gap is filled in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm pulling this one there, pulling that one there. Okay, so now we have that gap filled in. So once we put the bottom piece there, it should be fine. Now I'm seeing some weirdness going on here, so I'm just going to go to normals, harden edge, and see if that fixes it. And it did indeed. Okay, so that's all fine now. So once we make the bottom piece, we'll be able to connect these gaps up together. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start working on adding them loops that we need. I'm seeing some weird is going on in here as well. And let me just have a look at what's going on. It seems like that this didn't go according to plan. This gap in here. What's going on? So I think when I extruded this out, it didn't go according to plan. So I think I'm just going to leave it for now and might fix it at my own time. You might not have the same problem if you extruded that out properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start adding these edge loops now. So we're going to use our insert edge loop tool, and we're going to start working from the outside to the inside, I think so, and then smooth it to see if we missed anything out. So obviously we're going to need one around here. I'm not going to explain everything. I think I'm just going to do this and you can follow along, but by now you should kind of know where we would need these loops so it will hold this shape. Okay, so hopefully you do, and then you're not going to have an issue following this along. Because of these extrusions, our loops go a little bit weird, but it will be fine at the end as long as we not have any weird artifacts and so on. I don't think it will have any, so it should be fine. Our edge loops are our mesh is fairly clean, so I don't think it will have any issues whatsoever. So again, I'm just going around checking where we would need these loops going. And now I think this loop will go around a little bit funky, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to move these vertices and fix this up. So I'm going to select that one, move it closer to the edge. I'll probably start snapping it to this one just to make sure that it lines up. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this, snap to that. I'll do the same thing with this one. I'm just working my way down, making sure that these are roughly at the right place and not all funky. As you can notice, I started snapping it now because it doesn't have to be that precise. Okay, it will still smooth fine. So now I'm just going around and checking if these are at the right place. Again, I'm just point snapping these to the vertex here, just to make it a little bit more tidy, because once we add all these loops, this is going to get quite confusing, because we're going to have so many loops going everywhere. So now that this is a little bit tidier, I'm more happy with this now. So now I'm going to have a look on the inside and see what's going on around here. And I actually think that this loop that we done when we extruded was going to be our outer edge. It just didn't go close enough. And this is going to be our inner one, so I'm just going to move that a little bit closer to the edge, and then this would be our other one. I think that will be fine for where it is now. So this bit looks fine. And I'm just again looking around, making sure everything got its loop going around. So we're going to need one here as well. Okay, that looks better. So once we thing that we have all the loops that we need, we can just go ahead and hit smooth and then see if the mesh smooths properly or not. So it's not exactly rocket science really. It might look complicated, but it's actually not that bad once you do it for a while. So again, I'm just checking to see if these loops are at the right place. So I'm just going to move this out closer to the edge. So that's looking a little bit better. I'm just checking this bottom one now. Gonna need one going around here. Now, because these edge loops go all the way around, it doesn't matter as long as they're not intersecting with any like other parts of the mesh, so it's not going to cause us any issues, hopefully. Again, I'm just going to select this loop and just move it a little bit closer to this edge here, so we'll hold this shape tighter. So I'm just checking these front gaps that we made. I'm gonna need one around here. Again, I'm just doing this roughly now, and then later on we can move the edge loops if we're not happy with how this is actually smoothing. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead and select that loop and just move it on the right axis, not the wrong one, a little bit closer. We might need, yep, we're going to need another loop going around here, and we'll hold that corner. It is a little bit of a pain, but if you wanted to, I don't think it would be possible to bevel all these edges. So if you actually went ahead and attempted to bevel all these edges, trust me, you would have a lot harder time than adding all these loops in. So this is actually the easier way of doing this as far as I'm concerned. I need one there as well, and I'm just going to go have a look at the top gap here. So hopefully you're able to follow along with this and you don't find it's too complicated. And then hopefully you will get the same results as I do. So now I'm kind of done with this front piece. As far as I know, I haven't smoothed it yet, so I'm just going to go around to the side and start adding these in, and then once I think I've added everything, I'm going to go ahead and smooth it and then see if it smooths properly. If it doesn't, then obviously we've missed some loops, and then I'll go ahead and check which ones I might have missed. And then, I mean, when we extruded this in, it might have been easier if we just extruded the extra edge loops, and then we wouldn't have to add these in, but we didn't do that, so we're just gonna go ahead and do that this way. And now I'm just checking this bottom loop that goes around here, because I want to move this closer to the bottom. So I'm just going to move it down there, and as far as I can tell, we're going to need a loop going around here as well, and we're going to have to go ahead and probably move these as well. Oh no, it looks fine. Okay, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be worse. So I'm again going around to the side and checking if we got all the loops. And the reason why we didn't do this as we went along, because it would have gotten fairly complicated. So I wanted to get to a stage where we got most of the mesh blocked out, making sure that we got all the fine details, because if we've forgotten something, then it would have been a mission to add the extrusions and so on after we added all these loops in. Okay, so that's the reason why we're doing it this way. And again, I'm just checking, making sure we got everything, and we need one here. And we didn't have any extra detail on the back, so now I'm just going to check the other side, make sure that we have all the loops that we need here as well. And I can tell already that we're going to need one going around here, and we're going to need some to go around here as well, and here as well. Okay, so that should hold that corner. Also going to need one going around here. Okay, so that corner looks okay. Now I'm just going to check this corner. I need one going here as well. And I might miss some, and it's fine, because once I smooth it, I should be able to spot where I have missed some, so it shouldn't be an issue. You can just go along like I do and add the loops that you think you need, and then once you think you added everything, you can just go ahead and hit smooth and see if your mesh smooths properly or not. So again, I'm just thinking and checking. Okay, so I think the outside bit is fairly okay now, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to this inner piece now. So I'm going to just go ahead and do these bits. So I'm going to go back to insert edge loop, and I'm going to start adding it in to these bits. Okay, so we're going to need one here as well. Okay, so this is looking good now, and now I'm going to go ahead and move on to this next one. Looking at it, I missed one at the top here, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. I'm going to have to do the same thing with this side. Now loops does go around funny at some places, but it's fine as long as this will smooth correctly. It's not going to cause us any issues really. So we'll just see once we hit that smooth button, see if we get any weird stuff going on. Hopefully we won't, but I don't think we will, because apart from that our mesh is fairly clean, so we shouldn't get any intersecting edges. Okay, so I got to a point where I think this is nearly done now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit smooth in a minute and see how it's looking. Hopefully it's looking pretty good, and then we're not going to have any issues. Oops, I did that to the wrong place. Yep, that corner looks good, and I'm just going to check this corner, and we're going to need one going here. That one has it. So now I got to a point where I think I had done all the edge loops. So we're going to go ahead and hit smooth and see what happens. So I just hit smooth now, and I'm just going to look around the mesh. So we're going to start here. That looks fine. Some of the corners seem a little bit soft, so I might fix that up later. I'm now looking around here. These bits look fine. Some of these edges look a bit too soft, so you're going to have to go and investigate that. I'm looking at these bits now. These look okay. Some of them still look a little bit soft, so I'm going to go ahead and check if we got those loops in there that we need. So I'm just having a quick look around now. These top trays where we're going to have the extra detail looks fine, and here we go, we got a clear problem here. Okay, so these are the things that you got to look out for. We got a problem here as well, so I'm going to go ahead and unsmooth and see what's going on. So let's just have a look. We got our edge loop supporting here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this loop up, and I can already see where we're missing the loop. So as you can tell, we don't have a loop going here to hold this, so we're going to go ahead and add that in. I'll look on the other side as well, see we're missing it there as well. So I'm going to go add that in, and now I'm going to go ahead and smooth, see how that's looking. See, now that problem is gone. Okay, so those are the main things that you're looking out for, and you're looking out for things like how soft the corners are. Is it soft enough, or is it too hard, or how's it looking? Okay, so those are your main concerns, but especially those artifacts there, or smoothing problems. Those are the things that you're looking out for mainly. So I'm just going to smooth this again and have a look here. It seems like I'm getting some weird smoothing around here, so I'm just going to go ahead and investigate what's going on there. And that is because of this edge loop is not going all the way down. As you can tell, it goes in to where our extrusion is, so we're going to go ahead and fix these corners, I think, in the next part. But apart from that, everything else looks fine. So if you don't like how soft some of the corners are, you can just go ahead and move some of the edge loops a little bit closer and so on. But apart from these bits where this extrusion is, everything looks fine to me. So in the next part, we're going to go ahead and fix these bits, and yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next part.